Today we are going to another exciting module, which is the building bushel module. This module gives the farmer specific information on when to seed, and it also gives them ample actionable data on how to know the suitable parameters per crop that are required for different stages of the crop growing cycle. So first off, you choose your farm. I will select the same farm as before, Hope Creek, and we will select any LLD. Now we can choose any crop, so I am going to choose canola crop on this particular field, and I'm going to select a crop stage. So, let's say we're going into seeding, which is the first stage of the crop growing operation. We can select seeding and then generate the report. This will generate the report for the favorable conditions required for seeding the canola crop. Now, at this particular time on this particular day, if the farmer wanted to seed, the ambient temperature is greater than 5 degrees and soil moisture at 40 to 100 centimeters deep. On this day, we have 28% soil moisture, so this is all green and looking good. Soil moisture at 0 to 40 centimeters deep is at 30% today. And this particular depth 40 to 100 is at 26%, and further deeper is at 30%. So, what this graph shows you is that at the topsoil, the snow is probably melting down, and so the moisture at the topsoil is going to the subsoil. As you can see here, almost at the same time, it's beginning to rise and have more moisture in the subsoil as opposed to the topsoil. And now the ambient temperature of the day, as you can see, keeps rising. And so as the ambient temperature increases, the snow melts, and the ground defrosts, and the water moves downwards, so that's what you see here, and it is represented on the chart. Now one thing I really like about this particular module is that you can also get fertilizer parameters. And so when you do this, the best way to understand how fertilizer will interact with the soil is for you to use the fertilizer parameter. Right now, as you can see here, the ambient temperature is 10 degrees now. 10 degrees is not suitable for fertilizer absorption, so it gives you a red here telling you that it's outside the range of ample fertilizer absorption. And also the moisture is good, but it doesn't have enough temperature, which is also a catalyst for triggering the fertilizer absorption. So, you look over here, you see the parameters for seeding, and you decide if it is a good time for you to seed. You know your soil moisture. You don't need any probe because you have the average soil moisture on every given field. All our data is based on average values of the entire field selected, and that is how this particular module works. Now let's say for germination, you want to get your germination report on this particular field for this particular crop. You click here, and you click on Get a Report. Now for this particular field, there are two issues here. The first is that the soil temperature at this particular depth is 0.025. So it might take a bit right now for the soil temperature to trigger germination. We have to be very careful here because this will tell the farmer that if he goes to seed today on today's date, the soil temperature is not ideal for the germination of canola crop, so that's a piece of good information to know. Now, another thing to know is that over the last 3 months, I've got total precipitation, be it ice, rain, humidity or whatever, It is a total precipitation of 63.7 millimeters of rain. So going into the cropping season, the farmer has the ability to know the total amount of rain on this field. On average, the entire field, they know the soil moisture at 40 centimeters to 100 centimeters deep at 28%. They know the parameters for basically ample fertilizer absorption. And they have different values and data within data points for the topsoil for moisture. The subsoil for moisture here, and 100 to 200 centimeters deep value for the moisture levels in the soil. You have the ambient temperature map that tells you this and tells you the total precipitation. You know everything is starting to form January, so the farmer gets a good overview. At the bottom here, we have a precipitation map. It gives precipitation real time. And this is for forecast. So there is no precipitation that is projected, and this gives you a future precipitation data, and there's no snow on the horizon, so we have all clear. Also, the other thing you can do here is to set your seeding date. If you decide to set the seeding date for this particular field at set, and when you do that, what ends up happening is that the system recalibrates through its AI and starts to monitor that field based on the seeding date that is selected. That is about it for this module. Thank you very much for your time.